you can't help but a developer look at it and dream and think, this is really an amazing opportunity.
It is the piece of land just about everyone asks about, the former Texas Stadium site. Now, one developer is showing interest to city leaders. And across town, could this be the site of a gourmet grocery store?
Something we've been asked about and needed for many years.
Hear from the firm that hopes to make it happen.
Most of the time it's competitive, it's physical.
It's really awesome chemistry out there.
Determination and inspiration. Special Olympians take to basketball courts in Irving. Plus, what the latest crime numbers show, highlights from State of the City, and it's pickleball. This is City Source. Irving's Special Olympians take to the basketball court in an inspirational display of sportsmanship. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. That story is coming up, but first, it is an early step that might someday lead to redevelopment at the former Texas Stadium site. We all remember this nearly 4 years ago when crews imploded Texas Stadium. The debris was soon cleared out, and since then, TxDOT and its contractors have been using the land to store equipment and mix concrete for Interstate 635 and other construction projects. But behind the scenes, there have been informal meetings about what could come next. San Diego development firm Oliver McMillan took special interest. Reps paid a visit to the site.
What really struck me was looking and seeing nearly a 90-acre site in the middle of your city, in the middle of this major metropolitan area, sitting, waiting to have a future. I would consider that to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You can't help but a developer look at it and dream and think, this is really an amazing opportunity, and it's an opportunity that should be given the greatest care in how you go forward with the project.
At a recent City Council work session, the firm's CEO did not present a plan for the stadium site, but did show high-end projects mixing retail and residential that his team developed in other cities. The council voted to work with the company for 6 months. No city funds are involved at this point.
It's encouraging to see a company with that kind of a breadth to come to the city of Irving, to our stadium site, and see the potential there. And so they're going to take that potential and see if it can be real at this time in this place. And so we're going to have about a 6-month period of time. They're going to do the due diligence with engineers, architects, different people who are involved in development of sites like this to see what ideas can come forward and to see how it can come to fruition. And during that period of time, we will be discussing with them what kind of arrangements can be made, what is the financial, marketing structure of something to be done there to get that site developed in a way that the city of Irving and its citizens can be proud of. I mean, obviously the former home of Texas Stadium certainly deserves a development that is iconic and is worthy of being on that site. The other thing we want to make sure happens is we want to make sure that that development will leverage the investment we made in DART, which we have a station just across the street, just across the highway from that site. So we want to make sure it's a mixed-use type development that will encourage the use of the light rail that's right there at that site.
The city could get out of its contract with TxDOT if it decides to sell the land. Here's another development possibility, and it's another one that residents have been asking about: a gourmet grocery store. We learned more about the proposed development.
What I have here is an oven that I've had brand new for 12 years that I've never cleaned.
Clem Lear keeps her kitchen spotless. It can be easy when it's not heavily used. So, not a big cook.
No, love to eat. I do like my fine cheeses, and I do like to have appetizers. And no better place to go than to a gourmet specialty shop.
She says she finds the best selection at stores like this one in Dallas. But she says she would rather spend the money in her hometown. And that's why
I am very excited about the new development with the prospect of a specialty grocery store finally coming to Irving. Something we've been asked about and needed for many years.
So our site is here on the southwest corner of George Bush Tollway 161 and MacArthur Boulevard. And directly across the road from us is the Las Colinas Medical Center.
Leon Capital Group bought the land from nearby Microsoft. At first, the land was not even on the market.
We got the feeling that we really just needed to try to prompt the process ourselves by submitting an offer to them to purchase.
Will Tolliver says Irving needs more places to shop. He says you can tell that just by observing lunchtime traffic around other major shopping centers in the city. He says those observations are backed up by research.
Las Colinas is historically very under-retailed relative to the commercial and residential concentration that it has. You've got very robust daytime. You've got very high incomes from the residents that are here, all of whom have disposable income that they can spend at your stores.
It is still early in the process, and Leon Capital will not disclose which stores might come to this site. And there are questions about whether this idea will become reality. Right now, this land is not zoned for retail.
Based on the fact that we still have some entitlements to work out on the retail side with the Las Colinas Association, you can never say with 100% certainty, but provided that we are capable of developing retail on this site after we secure our entitlements, I would say with 100% certainty that it would be a commercial center anchored by a gourmet grocer.
Leon Capital hopes to work through the process in early 2014. Plan B would be more office space.
And all of these guys are currently, when they're shopping for gourmet grocery, they're leaving Irving and Las Colinas. They're going to Coppell, they're going to Southlake.
Those folks need a place to shop, and I want them to keep their money in Irving.
Clem Lear already has a grocery list in her head.
Fresh, organic produce, cheeses, fine breads, a little wine, teas. Pastas also, something that I didn't have to put in the oven, unless maybe to reheat.
So she would have more options and keep her oven clean.
No, I've never cleaned it. See, self-clean, never cleaned.
Leon Capital Group reports early interest is strong, and it expects the retail center to be fully leased before construction would even begin. We now know the Irving Convention Center Hotel will be a Westin. Groundbreaking could come later this year, and the grand opening could happen in late 2015. As we have reported right here on City Source, the hotel will offer 350 rooms, meeting space, and a sky bridge connecting it to the convention center. The city contracted with Mortensen Development for the $90 million project. Economic development projects were among the main topics at State of the City, hosted by the Chamber of Commerce at the Irving Convention Center. Mayor Beth Van Dyne delivered the keynote address to an audience of business people and interested residents. She recited a long list of accomplishments and accolades of city departments, local businesses, and more.
Do you get where I'm going with all of this? If you look at our educations, if you look at the businesses that are here, if you look at everything that we have achieved, we are easily in the top single digits of everything going on in the country. You are right in the middle of it. We want to have an environment in the city of Irving that when you come here, you stay here. You can work here, you can live here, and you can play here.
Also at that event, the Chamber's Charity Fund presented a check for $10,000 to one of Irving's newest additions, the headquarters of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. In today's Crime Fighters, indications that all those crime-fighting efforts are paying off. Irving police report crime fell for the 9th straight year. This time, the decrease was just under 2%. Police Chief Larry Boyd points out that the number of homicides at 2 was especially low for a city the size of Irving. But on the other side, auto thefts were up slightly. Robberies saw a bigger increase, and police are responding to that.
Most of our robberies are individual robberies, not so much the traditional, going into the convenience store and that sort of, and we do have some of those, but many of the things that we have occurring with robberies can be prevented by the folks who are victims doing some things a little bit differently, such as not being out by themselves in parking lot late at night and that sort of thing, and we see a lot of that robberies occur under those circumstances.
Chief Boyd talks more about the crime rate and offers more prevention tips on the current edition of ICTN's Open Line. Catch it right here on ICTN or at youtube.com/thecityofirving. In other police news, the department is offering another class to help women learn to protect themselves. It is called Rape Aggression Defense, and it has proven to be a popular topic. As you see in this video from a previous class, students learn self-defense, and there is also education on risk prevention and other topics. This 4-day class is February 17th through the 20th at the Police Training Academy on Esters. To register or learn more, visit irvingpal.org, or you can call Officer Jill Smith at 972-721-2544. A $20 donation to the Police Activities League is requested but not required. Irving residents interested in running for mayor or council can pick up packets in the city secretary's office or get them on the city website. This year, the office of mayor and council places 3 and 5 will be elected. Filings are due February 28th, and here are other dates to keep in mind. Early voting is April 28th through May 6th, then Election Day is May 10th. The city secretary's office can answer your election questions. That number is 972-721-2493. There is also a lot of information at cityofirving.org. With no significant rain in recent weeks, strict watering restrictions remain in effect. They are currently at stage 3. That means homes with even-numbered addresses may only water on Saturdays. For homes with odd-numbered addresses, watering may only take place on Sundays. No matter the day, no watering is allowed between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. because that's when evaporation rates are the highest. Violators could face warnings and fines. The city website is the place to go for more information, including the restrictions for businesses and apartment complexes. Coming up on City Source, Pickleball. Never heard of it? Well, we'll explain coming up, but first, WebWatch, our most popular and most talked about videos online.
So it does look very different than what's there now.
Hundreds of you clicked on our latest update on Heritage Crossing that we featured in our last show. The story included a new drawing of a streetscape concept. A lot of you are always interested in what the police department is doing. On our last show, we brought you the story of the problem-solving team's grant to buy new bikes.
From the first day when I started at this store, I started to reach out to the officers and let them know, like, Target has grants.
They donated $2,000 to the Irving Police Department for us to buy 2 police bikes with.
And one from the archives curiously surged in views. The Las Colinas People Movers got wrapped about a year ago, and the video has caught on yet again, getting hundreds more views. We don't know why. If you missed any of those stories, find them at ictn.tv. That's also where you could watch us live 24/7. Plus, catch us at youtube.com/The City of Irving. We have more than 1,000 videos for you to watch, and we always like it when you leave us a comment. As people get ready to watch the Winter Games from Sochi, Russia on TV, Irving had its own Olympic events, the Special Olympics. Brooke Pratt was there to hear from athletes and fans.
Michelle Ganson and her husband Chad recently moved from Ohio to Irving. One of the very first things they did when they got here was find a Special Olympics team for Michelle to play on. The Special Olympics are designed for athletes with intellectual disabilities, and she's competed in the games for over 20 years. Within a couple of months, she was playing for Irving's top Special Olympics team, the Mavericks.
I love it.
What do you love about it?
It's competitive. It's really awesome to play on it.
In Ohio, Michelle played on an all-girls team, but here she's the only girl on the team.
Michelle, she's quiet, she's quiet-spoken, she looks like just a pretty little girl, but she gets on that court and she's a fierce competitor.
Obviously, some of the teams that she plays, the guys that she plays against are a lot bigger, but she can hold her own.
She can definitely hold her own, and she has an entire team that backs her up.
Ball, all right? Irving, all 3. 1, 2, 3.
So she's met a lot of great friends down here. She was nervous coming down because she wasn't sure if she knew anybody, but everybody took her in under their wing, and she absolutely loves it.
The team's captain, Chris Custer, says the Mavericks are a tight-knit community that accepts and welcomes anyone and everyone.
Our program is a really great program. I really enjoy my teammates, just hanging out with them. They're great to be around.
It's enjoyable. My first year doing it, I was amazed at the level of excitement, the level of teamwork, the level of excitement for the other players. When they score on the opposing teams, everybody goes nuts.
Now's the time for them to show off that teamwork and excitement as the City of Irving hosts its yearly Special Olympics basketball tournament with 37 other teams from around DFW. The games took place at both the Lively Point Youth Center and Center Park Recreation Center. For many of the teams, it's the first games of the season and good practice for future regional and state qualifying rounds.
We are very competitive. We get right in there, play physical ball, aggressive ball, and a lot of intensity.
You're going to see some attitude. You're going to see some three-point shots, some fast breaks, some blocks, some fouls. You're going to see players kind of get angry, but happy at the same time. They're very competitive.
After trailing in the first quarter of the game, the Mavericks came back to win 32-24. One of the goals of the Special Olympics is for the players to see themselves for their abilities and not for their disabilities. The athletes say there are few things sweeter than making a basket and hearing the crowd cheer for them.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
I get loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm loud and proud.
Yeah. She's the one that keeps it going.
It's awesome. I mean, just being able to score a basket, you know, but it's more awesome for when I'm able to set my teammates up for baskets, because I like to sometimes set them up more.
As a spectator, Chad says what's impressed him the most with the move to Irving, besides the team's camaraderie, is the support the community shows to the Special Olympic athletes.
Here it's amazing with all the people that show up, all their willingness to support other teams even if they're not for that team. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And Chris hopes those spectators learn something while watching.
Playing with heart, great teamwork, a lot of unselfishness.
With those three things, the Mavericks went on to win all 3 of their tournament games. Brooke Pratt for City Source.
The event that may bring the biggest crowds of the year to the Irving Convention Center is just about here. Dallas Comic Con is February 8th and 9th. A lot of fans turn out in costume to buy stuff and meet some of their favorite celebrities. Here's what else is coming up. March 7th through 9th is the DFW Golf Show. March 28th through 30th is an event for the knitters and crafters called DFW Fiber Fest. Find ticket prices and a full listing of public events at irvingconventioncenter.com. The Irving Heritage Society is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the first housewarming party at what is now known as Irving's Heritage House. The celebration will take place at the Vintage Valentine Tea. This is video from past events. This year's tea is set for Sunday, February 9th at 2 p.m. at the home at 303 South O'Connor Boulevard. You do not need to be a member of the Heritage Society to attend.
Pickleball. Ever heard of it? It's an up-and-coming sport that combines elements of badminton, tennis, and ping pong.
You play on a court that's the size of a badminton court. And the paddle is like a ping pong paddle, except it's bigger. The court is smaller than a tennis court, but it's laid out like a tennis court.
It's basically like playing tennis on a smaller court. And instead of using a tennis racket and ball, you use a larger ping pong paddle and a wiffle ball. The effect of changing equipment and court size? It slows down the game considerably, and this makes it perfect for its target audience, people over 50.
I have people with bad knees. Once they serve the ball and it bounces and comes back here, then they can get up there even if they're walking like this. And then they can play the game like that. We have a lady over at the Summit that's 84 years old and is one of my better players.
Grand Prairie resident Dennis Watley is an official ambassador for the sport of pickleball and is helping spread the game across the Dallas Metroplex to people 50 and up.
A lot of people say, well, it's not much exercise. You play this game, I mean, you'll walk off the court sweating. You'll be soaked.
Why the name Pickleball?
The story is that the guy that invented the game had a dog named Pickle, and he was always chasing the ball.
So ignoring the fact that I may have a couple more years to go before I hit 50, Watley taught me the basics. Serve underhand to the opposite court, score only when serving, and play close to the net. Despite my best efforts, Watley and I won our game.
Watley says that pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America in which people can participate. And after playing a game, I agree with him in that it's addicting.
Just to give you an idea, there's a place called The Villages in Orlando, Florida. And when they built the Villages several years ago, they put in 109 pickleball courts.
Besides getting a good workout, many people join the pickleball movement for the social aspect.
We've had 3 marriages, people that had never known each other. We've had at least 4 or 5 people that are to this day dating each other. And I personally met a girl at the reception desk and got married.
If you are interested in playing pickleball, come to Irving's Center Recreation Center, Mondays and Fridays from 10 until 2. The city supplies everything you need to play. Just come ready to learn. Brooke Pratt for City Source.
The city is offering more grant money to qualified groups interested in starting community gardens. On past shows, we have brought you the story of the community garden at Bear Creek Community Church. The city hopes the success of that garden will inspire other nonprofit groups to start their own gardens. Interested people can learn more at one of these information sessions. They are Thursday, February 6th at the West Irving Library, and there are a couple of options at City Hall, Monday, February 10th at 6 p.m. or Thursday the 13th at 10 a.m. Applications can be found at cityofirving.org/begreen. They are due on March 14th. And it's time now for our Pets of the Week, so let's head out to the Animal Care Campus.
Hi, and welcome to the Irving Care Campus. I'm Melinda, and this is Snowball. Snowball is about 5 years old. He's a male. He's really laid back and chillaxed. So come out and check out Snowball. He needs a new home. This here is Indy. Her and her siblings are looking for a great home. They were born here in the shelter 2 months ago, and they're ready to go home with you today. Come check out Indy and her siblings. This is Midnight. He's 5 years old. He's full of energy and loves to play. So come check out Midnight. He's in our cat colony.
All right, thanks, Melinda. The Animal Care Campus is located at 4140 Valley View Lane. It is open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Then on Saturday, the hours are 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. A lot coming up for you on the next City Source, including the changes expected on the land around the Convention Center in the year ahead. Plus, a preview of the Texas Musicians Museum, which is planned for a former car dealership and Heritage Crossing. See some of the memorabilia that could be on display there. Also, the animal that has become the symbol of Irving has the power to heal. At least that's what a former Navy SEAL has found. See how Mustangs are helping veterans. Email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. We may read some of your messages right here on the show, or you can always comment on our videos at youtube.com/thecityofirving. That's it for this edition of City Source. We leave you now with more of the action at Irving's Special Olympics. Thanks to everyone who's a part of this one, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.